back again. But yeah, I hadn't dropped a full album since, when was it? Probably G Mob, Godfather, or Mercury, something like that. You know what I mean? But it was just, I just had to get back in, man, and just get relevant again, man. And it just feel good, man, just to be able to keep vibing and, getting some new material out, man.
For sure. One thing that I noticed from like when you're making songs with like Outkast or Goodie Mob versus when you're on your own, Outkast and Goodie Mob, they focus more on like funky type beats. And then when you do like solo projects, it's more like bass heavy or trap music. Do you prefer trap music versus the funky beats, or what are your opinions on like the instrumentals you use on your beats?
Man, you know what? I really prefer live music that sounds like trap music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, Thought Process to me was like trap music to me. You know what I'm saying? But it was made with like live instruments, and like Sesame Street to me was like trap music to me. You know what I'm saying? But I like the genre trap music. You know what I mean? Because it's real aggressive. And you can go live, you can go heavy drive bass on it. It's just got a bad rap as far as like the content of it. But trap music is just like another genre of music to me, like jazz or rock and roll, or you know what I'm saying, or something like that, man. So trap beats are really aggressive to me, man. I kind of like being challenged by those type of aggressive beats.
For sure, that makes sense. So one thing I also noticed is that when on this new album, you have all these older artists, like you have Be Real, you have Daz, Big Mike, you got CeeLo on, which is dope. When you're looking to work with artists, do you focus on more artists that you're familiar with, or are you interested in like branching out to, like you said, you had a compilation album with independent artists? How do you decide who you want to work with nowadays?
Man, you know what? Sometimes I might drop a jewel in the verse. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like in the song I got with Be Real, I said it's hard to be real in the land of imposters. I was like, oh man, I wonder if I could get Be Real on this song, because I think his voice and my voice will sound real good together. And man, I reached out to him. He's a real good friend of ours, man. He's like one of the first guys we met when we went to California and showed us mad love, man. So when I reached out to him and he got back at me, man, and said he would love to do it. Man, I was just so excited, man. I was like, wow, okay, that's one. I was like, now who else I can call, you know what I mean, and just see if I can get them to kind of like, you know what I'm saying, collab with me. So that's when the Big Mike came in, and man, he was just excited to do it, man. I always wanted to work with Big Mike because he was like one of the ghetto boys.
Yeah.
And I just thought his slang and just the way he rapped, man, and just how he put it together, man, I just thought that was just so, I thought it was just so hard, man. I just wanted to have that same flavor, you know what I'm saying, on my album.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think all your guests, they fit perfectly with you, you know. And I liked another thing that I'm not confused about it, but so sometimes on projects it'll say just Khujo, and other projects it'll say Khujo Goodie. Is there any difference between those names for you at all, or?
No, it's not. You know what I mean? Sometimes, sometimes I could just forget that people know that I'm Khujo Goodie. So I just might say Khujo. But sometimes I just got to be cognizant of knowing, it's new fans coming out every day. So sometimes I might forget to put the Goodie at the end. Sometimes I might use Khujo Gun Club Goodie. You know what I'm saying? So because Gun Club used to be a recreational place where me and my brother used to go to. We used to go swimming, and it was actually called Gun Club. So sometimes I like putting that in between Khujo Goodie, because people are like, man, what's that mean, man? I mean, what you like guns or something? I mean, what does that mean? But the thing about it is it's actually a recreational center, man, where, you know what I'm saying, some people in the hood, man, just go swimming and play basketball. It's a park and everything, man. So,
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I like using Khujo Goodie because it lets people know that I'm from Goodie Mob, though.
That makes sense. One thing that I also noticed was I feel like you're one of the, because I follow like a lot of hip hop groups and stuff, especially from your guys' era. And I feel like you guys always once in a while like drop an album together or singles or anything like that. but I don't feel like other artists in your era do that. So is there, I always thought there was like competition when it came to like Ghetto Boys versus Goodie Mob or DPG or anything like that, but it's like the West Coast versus East Coast. Is that not really a thing for Goodie Mob? Like, did you guys try to break those barriers down, or is it just like not a thing in the first place?
You know, it could be like a friendly competition, man, because you know, rap, man, is a competitive type of what we might call a sport. You know what I mean? But the great thing about it is, man, that you can be competitive, man, and then see like another hip hop group like a DPG, and y'all be dapping each other down and y'all cool. You know what I mean? So it's actually, man, the challenge and to inspire, man. You know what I mean? Because I love to hear like MCs, man, or groups from the 90s, man, still dropping music, man, because it's just inspirational, man. It just let us know, like rock and roll, man. Rock and roll don't have no age on it. You know what I mean? And I think that hip hop, our genre should have an age limit on it either.
For sure. I think CeeLo's like is out of the world with an example, like because he's like always on like different TV shows and stuff like that, and so he's done a good job of staying relevant that way. But what do you think Snoop Dogg or even Big Boy's done? Because like Big Boy, he's still really relevant. Like, you know, he was just performed at the Super Bowl, things like that. But it's not like I see Big Boy in like freaking TV shows. Like, what has he done? What do you think Snoop has done differently compared to other people from your era?
Man, I can just start with Snoop, man, because Snoop has always been, in my opinion, man, like the first guy, man, in hip hop, well, one of the first guys in hip hop, man, to really brand himself. You know what I mean? To really brand like Snoop Dogg. I mean, like every shirt I done seen since he been in the game done had his name on it. You know what I mean? Him branding DPG, or like Big Boy, he stayed working because he's like a general for Dungeon Family, man. I mean, he put that flag up, man, and he leads by example. And what he does, he has his hands in different type businesses, man. So he stayed relevant, man, by keeping recording, man, with different artists, man, and dealing with different producers, man. You know, keep the music fresh, man. So with that come along with the branding, man. So he's been able to brand himself outside of Outkast. You know what I mean? So now he's just as big as Outkast. You know what I'm saying? With Big Boy, because he's still doing it right now in the 21st century, and that's making music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What have you done to like promote yourself during these times? Like, I know you were you did the Vlad interview, which is huge. Like, he's honestly like one of the top 5 interviewers right now. And of course, and then Hip Hop DX, you got put on that last night or when you dropped your album. So you're getting a lot of love. So what are you doing to promote? Like, are you signed to a record deal right now or anything? Or are you just independent with your music, or how does that all work for you?
Yeah, I'm independent with the music, man. You know, I learned from all the ones that came before me, man, like Master P, man. So it's right now, it's an independent game right now, man. And the more music that you make, you know what I'm saying, the more your family can benefit off of, man. You know what I'm saying, in the past, I mean, in the future. So, you know, just really, you know what I'm saying, connecting with different artists, like I said, doing the Feed the Lions, man, that allowed me to connect with other artists and kind of like bounce around ideas, man, and see what the flavor is, and then kind of like tweak my style too. You know what I mean? So that kind of keep me fresh and keep me relevant. But I just want to thank all those social medias like Hip Hop DX and Hip Hop Weekly and yourself, man, just for still loving hip hop and loving the culture, man. Because if y'all didn't, well, nobody really want to talk with Khujo. You know what I mean? But since it's new music and you guys are lovers of music like that, man, you know, you guys are intrigued and interested. Okay, well, what Khujo got going on? And then come to find out, man, you know, we got a lot going on. You know what I mean? So, man, I don't have nothing but love for you guys, man, doing that, man. Just even considering me.
For sure. And I think it's a relevant thing right now. Like, all your guys' music, like we talked about on the Goodie Mob interview, all your music is coming to fruition right now. Like, everyone's listening to it again and like, oh, they were actually saying something important back then, you know? And something that I've noticed is, like, even before this quarantine started, people were like starting to wake up and realize with this quarantine, they're like, oh, how am I treating people? Like, how is my image? Like, am I actually a good person deep down? Am I doing the right
Right.
thing? And like you've started seeing music change. Like, of course,
Right.
some people will be like, oh yeah, my favorite rapper is like a Young Thug or a Future. But then you're starting to see people be like, oh, J. Cole, oh, Kendrick
Right.
Lamar. Like,
Wow.
like even T.I., like T.I. staying relevant, and he's been on a ton of your guys' albums. You guys are close to T.I., and
Of course.
it's just things like that. Like when J. Cole dropped his compilation album last year, they had T.I. on it even, So like older
Mm-hmm.
artists and younger artists are starting to realize that you can still learn a lot from
That's
people
right.
before them.
That's right. That's right, man. Most definitely, man. I mean, music, man. It shouldn't have an age limit on it. It shouldn't have that on it, man. So you should be able to learn from the old and learn from the young, man. So that's what keep this music fresh and generating. Because if it was just older people making the music, the music would still just be one way. You know what I mean? So we need that. We need the younger generation to come in, put their 2 cents in it, man, and keep the music fresh, man, and keep it wet, man. You know what I mean?
For sure. This is kind of a weird question, but so when I've talked to a lot of like newer artists who are like all about being black and being proud of who they are, the one thing that they kind of say that it's kind of interesting. They're like, yeah, I'm talking about like stuff that's touching me and like how I grew up. But then I look into the crowd, it's all like white 16-year-olds and shit like that.
Wow.
So how has that changed for your guys' crowd? Like when you guys first started out, what did your crowd look like and how has it evolved since then?
Man, like, our crowd started out in Atlanta, Georgia, you know what I'm saying? In clubs like the 559 and clubs like the Silver Fox, you know what I mean? And some of the underground clubs that don't open up to about 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. So our crowd was kind of like our people, you know what I mean? But once we went major with LaFace Records, once our music started getting out, man, in places like where you at in Seattle, places like Iowa, places like Humboldt County, you know what I'm saying? Places like, man, in Florida, man, the crowds were mainly young white people, man. Young white women, young white men, and was just, you know what I'm saying, just coming to feel or to hear the story of some black ghetto boys, man, from the South, man. You know what I mean? And it was love, man. I mean, because growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, man, you hear about a lot of racist stuff down here. I wasn't born in the era when that went on, but I know my history, and it's not like that now. But you still can kind of like feel that people stay on their side and you stay on your side. But when it comes to music, it seems like everybody is in there together. You know what I mean? So the color lines and the color barriers are they're no longer there anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It was okay, man, because they was feeling the music, man. They kind of understood where we came from, man. And once it was over, man, we shook hands, man, signed autographs, man, and they was real appreciative, man, that we even came out that far, man. And then most of all, some of our shows were being promoted to those white neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Because I can remember coming out to a few cities in I think we might have been in Oregon. And people were like, wow, man, why are you guys doing a show down here? This is the downtown white neighborhood. But that's who they were promoting to, you know what I mean? So you had to come out your neighborhood and come jam with some of the white people, you know what I'm saying? And then at the time, everybody's on the same one accord, you know what I mean? So it was a beautiful thing, man.
For sure. What are your opinions on like the theory and statistic that by the next like 20 years or so, everyone's going to be mixed with something?
I don't think so. I mean, because you got a lot of conservative people, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of conservative people, man. They kind of want their family the way their family is. Just for instance, my father is black. My mom is black. So they had some caramel babies. You know what I mean? They had some chocolate babies and some caramel babies. But there's nothing wrong with people wanting to be with their own people. You know what I mean? But if that does go down, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? I can't hate on that. But it's always beautiful, man, to be with your people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. How do you think the mindset of people listening to hip hop has changed? Like when it first started out, hip hop was kind of put in the same category as rock and roll, as like, oh, we can't listen to that type music. And now over the past few years, like hip hop is the cool genre, like jazz players want to be on hip hop songs,
Right. Well, man, like I said, man, hip hop is almost like still the new kid on the block, you know what I mean? Where you can still experiment with things, you know what I mean? But with some music, everything is cut and dry, you know what I mean? Or this don't belong in here, or you can't put that in there, or you can't put that in that music. But with hip hop, it's forever changing, man, and people are forever experimenting with it, you know what I mean? So I think that's the key to it, man. That's the key to it, man. The youth and the older elders in the game, man, they get together, man, they come up with something new.
For sure. Do you think it's, when it comes like the older artists, like, like you, Cocaine, Snoop Dogg, anyone old from the 90s, do you think it's a good idea to kind of like just set in and buy into your age, or do you think artists should start to like act younger than they are?
Nah, man, I think you should buy into it, man, but still have a young, fresh mind, man, to still be open to do creative and new things. You know what I mean? Because come on, man, you can't have everybody in here young, because you're not gonna have no type of wisdom or no type of person, nobody that's been out there that they exercise, that their mental has been exercised out there, where they can tell you some stuff. You know what I mean? Because if you hadn't been through nothing, you really can't. You're limited to telling somebody something. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should just act our age, man. I mean, I know some might put a little something in their face and their beard, you know what I'm saying, and make it dark. That's cool. Ain't wrong with that, because sometimes I do it. You feel me? But still, it's still about that feeling, somebody coming up to you, man. What's up, big brother, man? Man, thank you for the insights you gave me, man. I really did need that, man. It really helped me in my journey, and that shit is priceless. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's exactly why I tagged you in that post this morning with the lyrics to that song that you did with Lloyd. That was dude. I love that song. Like, how did that come about? Because Lloyd's really relevant. Like, he came with like Lil Wayne, so he's got Lil Wayne on his back and everything like that.
Of course. Well, Lloyd, man, is he's part of the ATL family, man. I just happened to be across the street at Stankonia doing something, and one of the producers that did something for our record a while back, I'm gonna remember the name in a minute. He came over there. He's like, man, what's up, Khujo? Jasper. He said, what's up, Khujo? That boy Lloyd, he across the street, man. He said, when you get some time, just come across the street, man. He recording his record. I was like, all right, that's what's up. So I went over there. I listened for a minute. I was like, okay, cool, I got it. And I think I might have came back maybe the next day or the day after that. And he said, man, I just want you to put something down on the intro. So I was like, okay, well, bam, that's what's up, man. I just did what the spirit gave me to say, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was beautiful, man. Like, that was like how your voice just came in at the end, and it was like blessing. It was like, oh shit.
Hey, them not my words. That's something I got out the Bible, man. So I definitely can't take credit for it, but it just felt like it was a good time to say something like that, man.
Sure. You know what you got to do? You need to do an audio book or something, so people could just hear your voice when you're reading a whole book or something.
I want to do something like that, man. I do. I want to do some voiceovers, man. Maybe like in cartoons or something like that, man. But yeah, definitely, man. I want to do maybe my autobiography book I wrote in 2000. I think it was 2008. Yeah. So I think I probably want to do a voiceover, man, on my book, something like that. But my voice hadn't always been like that, man. Been like this. I used to sound like a real kid, man, after I got out of high school, man, trying to rap, man. I was like, nah, I ain't ready yet, man. I ain't ready yet.
Same. I have a total kid voice, but I'll grow into it.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
But yeah, like artists like you, I think I think there's a total space for artists like you to come on and like feature on songs like an artist. One of my first big artists I interviewed, his name was Deontay Hitchcock. He was on the Dreamville album, and it was either first or second album, and he's from Atlanta. He had Kilo Ali on it, and I was like,
wow,
what? Like people like are still into you guys, you know. And what I've learned, because the worst thing anyone can say to me or any artist is no, or I'm not interested. You know, it's not like they're going to tear you apart. The worst answer is a no. Like the best case, they say yes. You know,
right? That's right.
So it's just never be scared to like reach out to people, and that's what one of the things I'm doing with my podcast is. With this podcast, it's all about inspiring people, and I think everyone deserves a voice, and I feel like sometimes people forget that everyone has a voice versus. Because you always just see like the Drakes in the media and stuff, but there's so many artists outside of just the Drakes who have so many wise things to say and to add to the hip hop culture or whatever culture or community they're part of.
That's right.
You know? That's
right. No, you said it, man. Like you said, don't be afraid to reach out, man. And that's what I've been learning too, man. Hey, they can either say yes or they can either say no. You know what I mean? Hey, let's go to the next person. The next one might say yes. You know what I mean? So you just got to be persistent, like I know you are. And hey man, just keep your nose to the grind, man, and what's going on. And man, they can't do nothing with you then.
For sure.
Respect it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So we'll ask a few more questions because I know we're both busy. Like it's 8 o'clock for you, and it's dinner time for me. Basically, it's already something.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the opportunity, man. For real.
So was it purposeful to release the album when you did right now, or were you planning on releasing it before the quarantine, or how did this all the date?
Actually, man, I was gonna release the album on my birthday, which was March 13th. I was gonna do that, but I had talked with Timo. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna release a single." He said he was gonna release his album on that day. I was like, "Well, no, maybe let me just go ahead on and change it." So I spoke with a guy that still has a record store down here in Riverdale, Georgia. His name is Tobago, and the name of the record store is called DBS Sounds. And he was like, "Yo, Khujo, man, you should come through, man, for record store day, man, on the 17th." I was like, "Record store day?" He's like, "Yeah, man, record store day, man." He's like, "Can you believe it? It's like still over 100 record stores out here that still sell CDs and still sell wax and everything, bro. You should come through." I was like, "Damn, man, you know what? I'm gonna drop my album, man. I think I probably should drop it on that day." He said, "Yeah, drop it on that day because it's record store day."
Yeah.
And it's like 100 record stores that still do CDs and do all those things that still do that. They'll be looking at what's coming out new. And I was like, man, because I wanted to press up some CDs too, because I was gonna go by there and probably press up about 100 CDs and sign some autographs. But since the quarantine came down, I wasn't able to do it.
Got it.
And then so I was like, well, I just put it out on that day, and I didn't even realize that the Unsung was coming out in the same week. So it was a good time, man. It was a perfect time. And I'm just glad that I followed I followed the spirit, man. Told me to go and drop that thing, man. When I did, because I really was just content with just dropping singles, man. But like my saying is, man, tomorrow not promised, man, and your fans want more.
For sure.
So I just had to go ahead and drop it, man. I had to put it out.
Mm-hmm. And I honestly, like, I still buy CDs. I think CDs are awesome. Like it's like
okay,
art, you know?
Okay, yeah, man. A guy just asked me today in my DM. He's like, "Man, you got hard copies, man?" I was like, "Dog, not yet, not yet." But I'm working on it. So I think I'm gonna have to do that for the record stores, man. That's still doing CDs down here in Atlanta, especially.
So on the CeeLo song they had when he was the chorus, did you guys get inspiration from Kanye's song Jesus Walks? Because it was like Gangsta Walks.
I think CeeLo, he's so awesome with that type of stuff, man. Just listening to this other stuff and making it his own. So I think that's probably where he got that from, man. Gangster Walk, it's hard, man. It was actually too, the culture of the culture of, you know what I'm saying, pop locking, you know what I'm saying, the culture of, you know what I'm saying, break dancing, the culture of, you know what I'm saying, like down in Memphis, how they used to book dance and all that. It's just really giving an ode to that, man, and just really the type of stuff that make people want to do the things they do with their body, man. You know what I mean? Just regular music can't do that. So
For sure.
you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's your album. I think your album's good. I think.
Thank you, man.
How do you usually listen to albums? Because I think I have 3 different mindsets when I listen to albums. I either listen to it on my headphones, listen to it on a speaker, or listen to a car. And a car is like a completely different experience from any other type of way to listen to music.
You know? It is, man. But you know what? It's something about those earphones, man. Something about, especially with the earbuds, it's something about it. Because like I can get in my car and plug in and hit the aux, and I can hear it through the car while I'm riding. But it's something when that's pressed in your ears and you're hearing the bass and you're hearing the snares and you're hearing the melodic notes in the background and you're just hearing the tone of the artist, man. It's just like a whole experience, man, like a virtual reality experience, man. It's dope, man. So I gotta say, I like the earphones, man. I do.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like your own theme song and stuff when you have like the headphones in, and then you'll be walking around thinking it's so cool, and then like everyone's like, "What is that guy dancing to? There's no music going on. It's just in your ears."
Hey, I was out of the country once, and they had a festival, and I walked by this tent, and there was a whole bunch of people in the tent, and it was like they was just moving, but you didn't hear no music outside of them. But they was listening with earphones on or something. And everybody was listening to whatever the DJ was playing. Everybody was listening to it, man. I was like, wow, that is dope, man. And I think I've seen them do it once out here in the States, man. But yeah, those earphones, man. It's a mean experiment, bro. It's mean, man.
That's crazy. Wow, that seems so cool. What are your goals for this album? Like, what are you hoping to get out of this whole album experience?
Man, what I'm hoping to get out of this album, man, the experience, man, that my fans, man, can feel like they can count on me when they want to hear something new, want to hear something that's going with the times, and that, man, that music still lives in me, man, regardless if I'm 26 years old, if I'm 85 years old, man. I'm just grateful to still be able to relate to the people in some type of way, man. With, you know what I'm saying, just with the music that I do, man. So I just want my fans to get a chance to check it out, man. I just want to get some constructive criticisms, man. I want to know what I'm doing wrong, man, what I'm doing right, so when I do it again, you know what I'm saying, I can cross my T's, man, and dot my I's on the next one, man.
For sure.
I just like to be inspired, man, to do the work, man, because it takes inspiration, man, to be great.
And I definitely know like artists who would definitely like to reach out to you and just like hear from you or like do a track with you. What is the easiest way for people to reach out to you, and like what is your mindset going into collabing with someone? Like how do you choose if you want to collaborate with someone or anything like that?
Man, you know, I get a lot. Well, I'm not gonna say it. I get a few requests for people for me to do features, right? I listen to the music and I listen to what they're saying, and if it's not too, you know what I'm saying, outside of what I do, man, I jump on there, man. You know what I'm saying? I jump on it because it's exercise for me also, you know what I mean? Because if I'm just sitting here idle and not doing that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna lose a step. So, you know what I'm saying? Once the beat come on, man, I can tell if it's jamming or not, man. I mean, almost from the first few seconds of the music, man, I can tell I can tell if I'm gonna do something with it or not, man. But that's how I do it, man. And you can reach me, man, on my IG, man, the KHUJO GOODIE. You know what I'm saying? You can reach me on that, man. DM me, and so we can get together, man. That's how I've been doing it lately.
That's how you got to do it during this quarantine, you know? And,
hey, man. Yeah.
And the thing about that's so good just overall is like the internet. Like people can reach out to you from like all over the country, outside of the country.
Oh man, that's awesome about the internet. Yeah, man, it's infinite. You know what I mean? It's no end to it, man. So big up to all my fans in Germany, man. All my fans out there in the Netherlands and in Japan. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. Much love, man, that y'all got for your bro, man, for sure.
For sure. Do you have any final words for Seattle and your fans?
Man, tell Seattle, man, we're going to be out there, man, on this 25th year anniversary of this Goodie Mob album. We definitely going to come out there, man, and get down with y'all, man.
For sure. That's exciting. What is some advice that you have for artists that are in quarantine right now?
Man, my advice is, man, keep working, man. You know, use this time wisely, man, to sharpen your skills, man. Use this time wisely, man, to reach out, to get on your social media, man. Try to reach out to people, man. You might get a feature from them, man. You just don't know. You just got to try, man. You know what I'm saying? And nothing beats a failure but a try. That's what my wife always say. Nothing beats a failure but a try. And she damn sure right about that, man. If you try, hey, man, all you can say is, man, I tried my best. And if it don't happen, hey, go to the next one, man, and make it work.
For sure.
No excuses, man. No excuses in 2020.
Sounds like you got a wise wife.
Oh, man, I do, man. I am blessed, bro. I am blessed to have a partner like that, for sure.
Yes. Well, this is the NAST Podcast with
Khujo Goodie, Echoes of a Legend.